the one, the only Benzion. Good morning and welcome to Yeshiva YouTube. Iyun with Benzion. Today we're doing Benzion Gittin Daf Gimel number 3. I want to talk today about something that comes at the end of the Daf. The Gemara is trying to figure out, according to Rabbah, who says that the whole point of the first Mishnah, that the person who brings it from Dina Sayyam has to say B'fani Nechtam, is because we're worried that outside of Eretz Yisrael, people are not baki in Lishma, in the halacha of Lishma. It seems they say B'fani Nechtam, and both the Ksiva and the Chasima of the Get have to be Lishma. Who's the author of this Mishnah? Right, it's not Reb Meir and it's not Reb Elazar. According to Reb Meir, you only need the Chasima Lishma, right? Chedi Chasima Karsi. And according to Reb Elazar, it would seem you only need the Ksiva to be Lishma. So the Gemara says maybe it's Reb Elazar, maybe Gimel and Beis, maybe it's Reb Elazar, and he definitely needs Chasima to be Lishma, the Ksiva to be Lishma. Maybe Chasima, he doesn't need Midoraisa, Midarabana needs to be Lishma. That's why Ufani Nechtam is also said, because Midarabana needs Lishma. The Gemara says not true. The Gemara says a Mishnah, Gimel Gittin Psulin, and this is a lot kosher. There are 3 examples where a get is Pasal Midarabana. But it's kosher midaraisa, and therefore if she remarries with it and she has a child with her second husband, the child's not a mamzer, she's not committing adultery. And it gives 3 examples. At the end of the 3 examples, he's even more makel in the brisa. The Mishnah says that if you have scribe rights, and there's only 1 aid. Normally you need 2 aidim to sign. 1 aid signs. It's kosher midaraisa. It says even if there's no aidim on it at all, but it's given in front of Adam till it's kosher. Why doesn't he add in a 4th case as Pasal Midrabanan if it's not signed Lishma? You see, not. And it adds at the end of the brisa, it says it's kosher. Not only is it a kosher get, but also you collect from the chasim mishubadim. Now chasim mishubadim basically means encumbered property. Basically means anytime I lend somebody money, right? So, and it's written in a star. If it's a milva al peh, I lent money to someone, orally, and there were witnesses who saw, right? You want to have proof that I lent them the money, so 2 witnesses saw that I lent them the money. That's called milval peh. And that's something which is discussed at the end of Maseches Baba Basra, or the shibuda is the right of the Rabbanan. But however, everyone agrees that if you write a star, if I wrote a loan document, he gave it to me, right? That he owes me money, then I collect on the chasim mishubatim. Meaning what? That I have a lien as his property. Once I lend him the money, all his property, right, that he owns, I have a lien on that. If he doesn't pay his loan on time, I can collect from that property. Even if he were to sell that property in the interim, right after the loan, before I collect it to somebody else, I can go not just to his property, but to whoever he sold the property to and collect from it. That's mishubadim. It's encumbered property, has a lien on it. I always get to collect from that property. So that's what Tosha says. That when the last line of this Mishnah says the go in the chassid shubad, has nothing to do with a get. Why does it have to do with the get of a woman? It's talking about a regular loan. Why is it not talking about a get of a woman? Because, as Tosfos explains, the reason it's not talking about the get of a woman is because what are you collecting? You're not collecting the property you're collecting and the woman's collecting is from her ksuba. It stems from her ksuba, not from the get. The ksuba, when she got married, the husband gave her a ksuba, and the Maseches Ksuba says the Chum instituted that all of the property of the husband are encumbered in order to pay off this ksuba. So once you give the get, right, if you come into Beis Din and you provide witnesses, right, that there was a get, even if you don't bring the star of the get at all, you bring witnesses there was a get, right? You're not collecting with the get, you're collecting with the ksuba. If the ksuba is written in a star, then you collect with the chasim mishubadim. It has nothing to do with the get. It has nothing to do with the get. So therefore they say this last line of the brisa is not talking about a get. Rashi says no, it is talking about a get. It is talking about a get. And if you have a get, right, even though it's not, according to Rabbi Elazar, there's no Edom on it, right? This get is good enough to collect the ksuba. It's good enough of a proof to collect the ksuba, which was written b'shtar. So Tosa says, right, it's not because of that. It's because of the ksuba, not because of the get. So I'd like to say that both Tosfos and Rashi really are right over here, but they're talking different cases. Like the Gemara says many times, some places had the minhag to write a ksuba, and some places had the minhag not to write a ksuba. If you're in a place the minhag is to write a ksuba, so Tosfos is right. Tosfos is right. It's not the get which allows you, the get of an isha, which allows you to collect from nechasim mishubadim. It's the stark suva. The stark suva is, and therefore, if you come to Beis Din and you don't bring a get at all, but you have witnesses that said, "I saw this husband megarish his wife," right? The woman brings those witnesses. She can collect from nechasim mishubadim. What Rashi is talking about over here, a case where it's a makom she'ein kosvin ksuva, a place where they don't write a ksuva. The minhag is not to write a ksuva. In which case, you don't have the ksuva, the loan document, the ksuva document written. So technically, you can't collect from the nechasim mishubadim. That's where Rashi is coming. That's why the Brayso says that over here, they're just saying it's so strong, this get, which has no edim on it, but it's a written document, that you can use this get to collect from the nechasim mishubadim. You can use it in the nechasim mishubadim because it's in lieu of the ksuva, right? You normally you would have a written document ksuva, but it's a place. It's like honest. It's under duress. You are forced. You lived in a place where they don't write a ksuva. So how are you going to collect nechasim mishubadim? The get is the way to collect nechasim mishubadim, and that's what Elazar is adding. That through the get, even though there's no chasima on the get, she can collect nechasim mishubadim because it's written in a star. It's written in a star. So she can collect from it, and that's what Rashi is talking about. And Rashi's explanation makes a lot more sense because that's what this whole Mishnah is talking about. It's talking the get isha. Tosfos is bothered. Why is it talking? The word get is problematic. That's what Tosfos says. The word get is lav dafka talking about isha. We use the word get by other shtaros also, right? A get shichror for an eved knaini we'll learn coming up. But that's the real problem with Tosfos is that it says the word get. According to Rashi, it makes sense. But according to Rashi, you probably have to say we're talking in a place where there is no written ksuva, and that's why. And Tosfos would argue, and Tosfos would say if there's no written, Tosfos either would say that we're talking at a place where there is a written ksuva. Maybe he would agree to Rashi, or maybe he would disagree with Rashi, and he would say that even if there's no written ksuva, right, you need a star ksuva to collect mishubadim. A star get is not sufficient. According to Rashi, it is sufficient. We'll talk more about this going forward. Hope you enjoyed today's share. See you in the next one.